Your perception is the process of accepting the world and creating it at the same time. Perception is an active process, not a passive process. If you were not aware of this process, your subconsciousness was leading this process. Let go of the obsession and anxiety and embrace the feeling of relaxation. Your brain is not a translator of the world. Your brain is a machine that depicts its whole different world from other places in space, using the information that interprets stimuli. You look into the world when your senses accept the information of the world and give the material to the brain. You create the image of the world with it. As time grows and you grow up, the time accumulates and experience matures. You will create your own room called the archetypes of image. Color of streets, characters of people you meet, emotions. These things gather together to form many rooms of those images and feelings. And over time, in order to describe the form of the world you see, the quantity of the material you accept from the outside world is narrowed down to few impressions, and you use more of the existing rooms. You put those colors on sensory stimuli. You decide which room you want to open and project the colors of. Which door in your head has been mostly opened so far? If you are living a painful life for internal reasons, you may have often opened a room with a strong color and flavor of anxiety, alienation, hurt, and fear. You look at the world. You paint the reality in front of you with lonely and gloomy paints and give life. You paint it with all your heart, as if it were a piece of art. You sketch the form, draw lines, and you put colors, and you put smells. The color of darkness and withdrawal feels so heavy. You keep going down. Your left hand, right hand, left leg, right leg. It becomes increasingly difficult to raise them. For you, it does feel like a natural force like gravity. And those personal and social things that are given to you when you are staying there, and the identity corresponding to it seemed to be the right place for you, right thing for you. And with them, the size and numbers of the rooms were enlarged. You have forgotten the way that there was a very first time that you chose the door and the color, which were just one of several alternatives. You can't hardly remember that moment anymore. No, you can't separate it from yourself. It has become yourself. Nobody told you that there are other ways, other ingredients to build a home in your heart, and it matters. You were just ignorant, but now that ignorance and lack of luck have become your responsibility. You have worked very hard on building that rooms and house. You didn't know you were painting, but that was what you did. Hate, obsession, anxiety, aversion, with distorted image of the world. You painted so hard. With that, you had faith that those were true, that the world was like that. You thought that was real and truth. But actually, it was your faith that you decided to believe. It was your religion. You open the room's door and wait. Wait until the reality standing in front of you turns into the shape of that room again. You just can't stop this. You do not know how to unravel the thread that tangled. You have been suffering way too long, trapped in that restraints. Now, you just acknowledge. You recognize yourself opening the door of fear. If a few beautiful rooms remain in your mind, it means that you have the possibility to create different future based on it. Whether you believe it or not, that possibility has always been in the corner of your mind. You put your hands on the doorknob of the most beautiful room among those and turn it, and it opens. Separated space starts to share the same air. You breathe in that air and appreciate the fragrance, and you paint the world with the same scent of the open space. You paint the world with the energy of the opened space. You paint the world with the paints and shapes of that opened space. Yellow, green, flowers of the spring, memories of the summer, nights of anticipation, mornings of your heart full of love, sense of warm breeze. But then you start to feel you really shouldn't, and you just can't. Those incidents happening in front of you, smothering you, and those reactions of yourself that makes you feel like your influence is nothing but a fantasy. You are drawn to that old doors, old rooms, old colors and paint, like magnets, because it is already so familiar to you, and ridiculously it feels safe. Because of inertia, your heart fails to open that beautiful place, covering herself in the corner of your mind. However, you try 10 you fail 9 times, but once you succeed. The things that flow out of that shining room of your heart will wet everything in front of you. You have this amazing experience that the whole world gets beautiful. And next time, you will probably succeed twice in 10 attempts. Along with this process, the size of the beautiful rooms grows slightly, and the number of rooms increases one by one. And little by little, it gets easy for you to select the room. It is not important that the size of happiness is small in yourself right now. It is important that the rooms of happiness exist. One by one, little by little, one thing from others, small thing from big things. Your thoughts change. And when you cross a critical point, your surroundings change. The width of your choices be expanded. Your life changes, and the color of your identity changes until the moment of your death. The change continues. One day in the future, you remember this first moment that lead yourself to this change, and you tell yourself this: thank you so much for all you did inside of your mind. I don't know what would have been done without you. I really don't know if I could do that now, even it were me. With nothing you can see, with no vision in your mind, with nothing guaranteed. What you made is a miracle. You are my miracle.